All right, everyone. Welcome to Lion Strong, the place where you get to become who you were designed to be. My name is Lionel Lamarck. I'm your host for the show. I am thankful to have you here today for this particular one. We are going to have a little bit of fun today talking about stuff that people seem to struggle with when it comes to fitness. And I've been getting some interesting things. So this one is like questions or comments or different excuses, quote unquote, that people have when it comes to them and their ability to, quote unquote, get in shape. Look, guys, okay, this fitness thing, people are making it out to be way fucking harder than it needs to be. And it really doesn't have to be. It is something that's super simple and basic that should be part of your life. You shouldn't be looking at fitness as this thing you have to do. You should be looking at it as this is what's going to help me live longer and live better. If you just simply reframe the way you look at things, quote unquote issues won't be issues anymore. So let's talk about what I typically get to hear, right? Because people reach out all the time and they're always inquiring about what we do. And people always like some real quick program that they can get into because I need to lose this weight. I got myself into this situation and that situation, and my health is declining and I need to do something. And they just simply don't. And sometimes I have no patience and I want to kind of tell them off because you put yourself in that scenario. But what I also realize is that for most people, there are situations that put them there, or there are things that they're experiencing that they may not even be aware of that can cause those issues for them. So sometimes I can get to be a little nicer about it. Not always, but sometimes. Anyway, so we want to kind of address some of the things that I see, right, that plague people. First of all, most people's diets out there are so freaking horrendous. They're ingesting shit that is literally messing with their hormones and their systems and the way that they think and function, and they're not aware of it. And those things are causing addictions in ways that they don't even realize is happening. So when they're trying to start something that's healthy for them, they seem to struggle really, really hard with that because they can't get away from those habits. And in a lot of cases, it's not really their fault. It's not that they're doing it because they necessarily want to, even though they do. It's because they don't know how else to approach it. They've never had anyone sit down with them and show them that there's another way and a better way. And the alternatives that have been presented to them as healthy options, well, they're not so nice and they don't look so good and they don't feel so good. So it's really hard to get someone to make a switch from something that they love to do to something that they don't like to do that's good for them. So we have to kind of find a way to be able to make that work. So, what are the struggles that we're talking about? One of the ones that people deal with all the time is they don't have any motivation at all to work out. They're like, I want to train, I want to exercise, but man, I just can't get myself up to go out there and do something. I can't get to the gym. I can't do whatever. It's just really, really hard because I have to drive. I have to this. I have to that. Stop. Stop right there. Motivation. How do you get motivation to start something? You fucking start something. You don't get motivation to start something. You start something, the motivation follows. I know that might not be what you want to hear, but that's actually what's going to get you there. Take action, do something. It doesn't need to be you're going to break the freaking world record in something. It could just mean you start something. Look, if you've never done anything before, you haven't done anything in a long time and you want to get back to it, instead of just going from 0 to 100 real quick, how about we go from 0 to 10? Get up and go take a walk around the block. Let's start with that. And after you've done the walk around the block, you find out that you feel a little bit better than you did before. You have a little bit more energy than you did prior to that. So going around 2 blocks now might be a little bit easier. So do that. And then go around 3 blocks and then 4 blocks. You get the point, right? Start small. So you want to start doing some movement or some things that are, easier. Well, maybe you don't have a time or you're not able to get to the gym, quote unquote, but you could start something at home. How about just get down and get on your knees, man, and do some push-ups, or get down on the floor and get back up. Do that 10 or 15 times. You realize that that shit's way harder than you thought it was, and it'll actually give you a workout, get you out of breath, make you feel like you just got your stomach punched in, so to speak, right? But all of those things, even though they may not feel comfortable, those are the things that will actually help you get the motivation to keep going. So start, take action. That can help. So another thing, that people like realize is that, well, I don't have any energy. So, which is why like, I find it difficult to be able to do things. Well, let's talk about the lack of energy thing, right? And what causes that. Usually, one of the main reasons of why you don't have energy is because you eat like shit, which is another problem, by the way, that people have, but I'll address that separately. And so, if we correct one, that usually takes care of the other, but let's address the energy part itself. What's also interesting about energy is that you don't have energy to go do something, but the funny thing is, when you actually do something, it gives you energy. I know, crazy. You think I need energy to move, but if I move, it'll give me energy to move. Yes. Exactly. So get up and do something. So when you're feeling like, man, I'm dragging, oh, this is going to be hard, this is going to be difficult. Ooh, I really don't think I can do something. Get up, go for that walk. Just do something, anything. Do some push-ups, go sit down and get up. Like, again, simple thing. Get down on the floor, get back up. I know. Sounds simple. Most people can't freaking do that. Do that 10 times, do that 20 times in a row. You'll realize very quickly how difficult that is, and it shouldn't be. It should be super easy to do, but for a lot of people, it's going to be damn near impossible to do. And that's usually when the realization comes that, oh my God, well, it's going to be impossible for me to do everything else. No, it isn't. You haven't done shit for a long time. You're now putting your body in a position where you're going to try to do something that's going to be better for you. Start. Yes, it'll feel hard. It's supposed to because you haven't done anything in a long time. But I promise you, you do it again the next day or in a couple of days, and you do it again in a couple more days, and you do it again in a couple more days. All of a sudden, what was really hard day one, by day 4 or 5, is no longer hard. It's a lot easier. You can now do that, and then you can add to it and do more. So do yourself that favor and start, because you find that when you do, you will get energy. So now, getting back to the eating like shit part, that's another thing that most people do. Think about what you eat on a regular basis. Those chips, those processed foods, those whatever, those other things that like are absolute garbage that you ingest all the time. Why? How do you expect to be able to do something that's good for you? How do you expect to be able to have the energy, quote unquote, to move and function when literally what you're doing is ingesting crap on a regular basis? Cut it out. So you're like, well, but I know it's difficult because, I've been trying, but I can't get away from it. I can't get rid of it. I get it. I understand. A lot of these things have shit in them that makes you addicted to them and you don't realize that you are. So it's really, really hard to put them down. I get that. A couple questions I want to ask you is simply this. Is your health more important than those things? Yes or no? If it is, I promise you, you'll find a way to be able to put them down. If it's not, no problem. Keep doing what you're doing. Sorry, you're an adult. You get to choose how you live. You get to choose how long you live too. You want to kill yourself faster? That's totally your prerogative. No one can stop you from doing that except you. So when you get to the point where you decide that that's enough, okay, then maybe you'll stop it. If you don't, whatever, your choice. Funny thing is though, when you do decide to make those choices become much, much easier than you think. First thing is the alternatives that you can utilize that are much better for you can also be pretty damn good if you do them right. People think that eating healthy is like, oh, bland and whatever. And they get shocked to find out that eating healthy can taste way better than the shit that they're eating all the time, if they only knew. So if you can't figure out how to do that, just reach out and ask for help. I promise you, there's a shit ton of people, myself included, who would absolutely love to provide you options and show you what you can do that doesn't cost a shit ton of money. That's way better than what you're doing right now. And that tastes incredibly good. That'll make you walk away from the crap that you've been doing, basically, instead. So take that, do that. Much better, better results, so you can stop eating like shit. Well, another thing that I hear people talk about when it comes to this is, I don't have time to work out because I work, and by the time I get home I'm tired and I don't know if I can do anything. Like, seriously, are you shitting me? You're too tired to do something. I get it. So there's a few solutions to that. Solution number one, you may not be what you want to hear, is but get up half an hour before and then do something then. No, but I wake up early. Okay. So get up 15 minutes before and do something then. The point is that not having time is really not an excuse. You saying I don't have time to go to the gym. Fine, don't go to the gym. There's a gazillion programs you can get, hours included, that can be done literally in the comfort of your home. You wake up, you pop your phone up, you look at your laptop, you look at everything and you follow instructions right along right there, and you can do something. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. You could literally completely transform your life in doing that, right? Get some activity going, get the blood flow going, get your body doing something that's different, that's fun, that's exciting. And before you know it, you've created a new habit that's actually really easy to follow and continue, that's completely taking you away from the excuses that you were using before. You have time. You don't need a lot. Half an hour or less, you have time. If you don't, quote unquote, have the time, make the fucking time. You can do that. Wake up 30 minutes before or go to sleep 30 minutes later, whatever. Pick one. Find 30 minutes in the day. I promise you, you have time. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what equipment. That's another one that comes along with the time. Well, I don't have any equipment. You don't need any damn equipment. Do you realize you have the best equipment in the world to be able to take care of the shit that you need? Yeah, this right here. So you can use that. And you can use a few other little items around the house that could serve as equipment without having to go spend some money. So don't let that be an excuse from stopping you from doing what I know can absolutely change your life for the better. So go get it. All right. Then another one, that one always gets me whenever I hear this. People are like, well, I can afford to go to the gym. I don't know how to answer that one. What do you mean you can afford to go to the gym? I guess you don't like living that much where you can afford to do something that's good for you. That's what you're saying to me. I'm not saying that you got to go spend thousands and thousands of dollars to work with the best people in the freaking world, but Jesus Christ, you can fucking afford $10 membership at Planet Fitness. Is that what you're telling me? You can afford that? If you have that problem, you have a bigger fucking problem than you realize. You get that? So the I can afford the membership crap is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard. But let's eliminate the gym membership part. You don't actually need a gym membership in order to be able to do anything. We just covered that. You could literally do everything from the comfort of your home. You know this little thing called YouTube that you're probably watching this video on? It's a freaking awesome thing because there's shit ton of videos that you could actually watch about shit that you can try to do. Now, is it the perfect things? No. Look, we're not talking the perfect world here. We're talking just actually having access to things to be able to do stuff for you to make your life better. Right now, all you have is excuses as to why you can't. And right now, I'm giving you solutions to every one of those excuses so that you can. So you don't need to worry about the gym membership part and everything else. You just need to start. If you start creating that habit, you start doing the things that are good for you, you start actually eating the right way, you start really putting yourself in the right environments, all of a sudden, everything that you need to take it to that next level, to hire that trainer, to go to that fancy gym that you want to go to get that program that you've been wanting to start, whatever, all of that will show up. All of that will materialize for you because you're putting yourself in the right position for that, right? But if you keep having the same attitude as before and keep coming up with excuses and finding a reason not to, well, shit. I mean, that might sound harsh if I say this, but for some of you, that's maybe what you need to hear. If you're really like shit and you want to keep using the same freaking excuses that you've had before and you're staying there, maybe you deserve to stay where you're at because you're literally choosing that. So you really don't have anyone or anything to blame but yourself. You put yourself there. You're the one who's eating the shit. You're the one who's doing all the dumb shit. You're the one who's actually making all that shit. And then you're the one's coming up with all the fucking excuses as to why you can't do shit about it. Even the solutions are being presented. So maybe if you looked at it differently and acted differently, the results would be different. I don't know. I'd like to present that as an option for you. So, really, guys, like I'm saying a lot and I'm trying to be super nice and calm and gentle about this because I really want to fucking rip every time I hear these dumb excuses, right? That people have. But here's the bottom line. Most of what I'm hearing when it comes to all this is people are just acting like little bitches when it comes to everything. Stop being a little fucking bitch and just do something. Okay. It's your life, right? You want it to be, you want to live another 10, 20, 30 years and not have somebody wipe your ass for you because you can't fucking do it yourself. Then get up and do something about it. It really is that simple. Stop being a little fucking bitch and complain about every little thing and find a damn solution. The solutions are there. They're simple. They're easy if you're willing to do them. If you're not, stop fucking complaining and accept where you're at. But if you want to bitch about everything and just complain about how bad your life is and you want to do something, then get up and fucking do something and stop being a little bitch about it. That's all. Okay. So I know, guys. I know. I could have said it nicer, but what's the point? Some of y'all won't listen to the nicer. You don't want to listen to it when it's actually like, hard. So yeah. Anyway. I can go on and on and on and on, but you get the gist. All of these things that you have are excuses for why you can't do something really aren't any freaking real excuses. They're just bullshit. And you can simply do something about them. Most of you can do something right from the comfort of your home. You don't even need to go anywhere. You don't even need to hire anyone to do that. But if you really are serious about wanting to get the results, you're going to realize that doing it on your own hasn't worked all this fucking time. It ain't going to work probably now either. So it might be a good idea for you to actually invest some money and pay someone to work with you or help you in doing those things because then they can keep you accountable. They can make sure you're doing the right things. They can make sure they tell you what you know you should do already, but you actually want to hear from someone else and actually get it done. If you can do that, yeah, I think it'd be pretty awesome to say that you will absolutely be a different person 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now than you are today. And you'll be able to look back and look at that and say, wow, man, I am so proud of myself for taking action and doing this shit because I did it. Look, there's a shit ton of people before you that were in the same position that you are in that's taking those actions and are not thankful that they made a change and they're not going back to where they used to be. You can join them. You can be one of those. You don't have to stay where you are. You can absolutely change your life, and it does not take a lot to do that. It simply takes you getting off your duff and taking one fucking step forward. Do that. Everything else takes care of itself. All right, guys? Love y'all. I want to help you. You got questions, you want answers, you want support, you want help, reach out. I'll be more than happy to provide anything I can to help you take that step and get to where you want to go. But in order for that to happen, you need to take the step first. I can't do shit for you if you don't do it for yourself. All right? Love y'all. Peace out. I'll see you on the next one.